Hey everyone, Jessi here from My Life in Arts and Crafts, and today I'm going to make a card. I am using my Silhouette today, so let's get started. So I am going to do my Kadoodle Bug design team post for the blog, and this is what I'm using. I'm using the cute winter penguins. We're technically having a snow day here in Oregon. It's not snowing. Yeah, it's not snowing here, but there was some ice on some of the sidewalks, so they canceled some of the schools. And we have some pretty bad wind. So, it's technically a snow day. So I am going to use this cute little snowman snowman. This cute little winter penguin right here. So he's wearing a snow hat, so I am going to find the one that says snow hat. That would be him, and he is the little blue guy up here. So I'm going to grab the SVG format of the file because I am working with the designer edition. If you were working with the basic edition, you would just use the GSD format. So I'm going to grab this and I can just drag it onto my mat. Oops. I'm going to zoom out a little bit. I'm going to grab this whole group and bring it down. And then zoom back in. I need the stuff from this penguin up here. So I don't need all of this stuff, but see how it's kind of grouped? So I am just going to select over everything and hit ungroup. And now I can delete this bottom penguin. I am not going to use these little snowflakes for his hat because they're too tiny to cut out and I don't want to. That's the nice thing about paper piecing is you can kind of delete some parts that you don't want. I am actually going to do, I think I might do a shaped card. Maybe not. I might get a little bit too ambitious because it's Tuesday and my post is due by midnight or so. So I'm going to try to keep it kind of simple just because I want to get this post done and I want to get it filmed and edited. So let's keep it simple, I guess. I'm going to draw on my card base. I am going to use, I think, just a standard A2. Let's just go standard A2. It's easier. So we're going to go to the scale window after I've drawn just a rectangle. Doesn't matter. I'm going to draw in my width of 4.25 and my height of 5.5. The way that I figure out which way I want the cards to be oriented is I look at the shape. If the shape is taller than it is wide, then my card will normally be this way. Not always. I actually sometimes prefer to have my shape go this way and have my cute little image kind of somewhere over here and then something over here. But which actually might be kind of fun. Maybe I want to change my mind. No, we'll just go back to the other way. So I'm just going to grab it, rotate it, and call it good. So I'm going to select over all of my pieces. I'm going to group them together for the moment. So I'm going to go Command G. I'm going to put that so that the gray part is on my card base. I'm just going to size it so it's a little bigger. Somewhere in there. Yep, that's good. Because then I can put him there, and once he has all his layers, he will be just fine. Now I'm going to grab some shapes. So I just type in shape. And that gives me anything that is a background shape that I have purchased. So I'm going to grab some shapes. Let's go with this guy. So these are designed to be scrapbook shapes, but I am going to shrink them down and use them on my card. I tend to use this one quite often. I really like that one. So I'm just going to stick to my normal theme. I'm going to take this guy and I'm going to go to the scale window again. I'm going to size it at 4 inches. So when I size it at 4 inches, it fits onto my card. But I think I'm going to go a little smaller. So I'm actually just going to grab it and shrink it. So that'll be good. Okay, so there's my shape. Now, to get a perfect layer that's going to go inside, I could do an inset. But when you do an inset on shapes like this, you sometimes lose some of those little angles. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to copy it. So Command C, Command V, copy paste. And it's 8.323 or 3.823. So I am going to shrink it about 1/4 of an inch. So 1/4 of an inch would be about 8.6. So that's about 1/4 of an inch. And see how that looks in there. Doesn't really give me much of a border. That's good. So that's 3.522. So that's fine. I'll go like that. So then I'll do this in a pretty pattern and then this in another pattern. We've got our card base, and I can always put some layers on our card base too to kind of fill in some of that space, which I probably would do. So now that we have that figured out, let's zoom back out. I'll put this shape here. I'll put this shape somewhere down here. Now I can ungroup these guys, and then I can start putting them in different places on my mat. So notice that the black pieces do not stay together anymore. So I'm going to select over them and group. And I'll probably put a 4 by something paper here, so maybe 4 by 4. And then I've got this guy, which could be another 4 by 4. Put the eyes in there too. And I might get some different eyes. I don't know. I might leave it simple. Put this guy here. Anytime you have the same color and it's not grouped together, I recommend grouping it together just to make it easier on yourself. So this guy kind of is almost a little too big for that section, so I'm going to give him a little bit more room. And I am going to make this all the same color, same yellow. Same with this scarf. I'm going to group the scarf together. Scarf is going to be all the same color, as well as some of these hat pieces. This is all going to be the same color. And then I think this actually just is the backer for the hat, and it is. So I am going to do a 2 by something there, and then I'm going to make all of these hat pieces the same color. Make it easy on myself. So I'm going to get this cut out. I'll flip the camera up to the other view, and we'll get this put together. Alright, now that I have all of my images cut out from the silhouette, we're going to talk about what I'm doing as far as the base. I've got Pacifica and White Daisy, and that's for the inside, and then for the outside, I have a piece of pattern paper, a piece of Whisper, White Daisy, and then another piece of Pacifica. I cut a piece of White Daisy to 4 1/4 by 4 1/4 by 11, so I can just fold it in half to make a card base. I'm also going to be using the Lawn Fawn Let's Bokeh. I'm going to use Have a Bright Day. And for my pattern paper, I'm using this Hello Winter by Echo Park. And I have just pulled out a few colors, and I took my little cardstock swatch book from Close to My Heart, and I just went through and found colors that kind of went with my cardstocks, and that's how I came up with Pacifica and Whisper. I also have some foam tape, and then as far as my inks go, I have Slate, which I'll be stamping my sentiment in. Maybe I might change my mind. I might use black. Whisper, Pacifica, Honey, and Glacier. And I did use Honey for my beak and my feet. So let's just get this assembled. Now for the inside, actually, let me start with the outside pieces. So like I said, this is 4 1/2 by 11. So when you fold it in half, it will make a A2 size card. Okay. So there's my card base, and then my piece of Pacifica. measures 5 1/4 by 4, and that's going to layer right on top of this. I'm going to use my ATG gun, and you could ink up the edges on this if you want to. I generally don't ink up the edges on anything other than the piecings. But I'm just going to center this the best that I can. And then I have a piece of white daisy cardstock that is 1/8 of an inch smaller on each side. So this is 3 7/8 by 5. No, this is, yes, 3 7/8 by 5 1/8. And then this is a piece of Whisper cardstock that measures 4 7/8 by 3 5/8. So that's quite a bit smaller. It's about 1/4 of an inch smaller inside that base. And then this piece of pattern paper is 4 5/8 by 3 3/8. And I actually did this wrong. It should have been 1/8 of an inch smaller to give it just that same kind of border. But that's okay. It's already cut. I don't want to waste any more paper, so just put that in there. Okay, so that's our card base, what the outside's going to look like. And then for the inside, we've got a piece of Pacifica that measures 5 1/8 by 3 7/8, and then a piece of white daisy that measures 3 5/8 by 4 7/8. Okay, so that's just going to give us somewhere nice to write a sentiment. And then let's start assembling the stuff on the outside. So here is my silhouette mat, and I have my white shape and my pattern paper shape. So these are my two shapes that are going to go on the front of my card. So there's that. And then what's going to go on the back of this is actually going to be some foam tape. So I'm just going to cut off some foam tape now. So this is going to go on the front of the card like that. I'm going to put it more towards the top. So we'll peel these off and just try to center it. Okay, looks good. Now we'll set that aside for a minute. I also have my tweezers here, and then I have my Ranger Multimedia in matte finish and my fine line applicator bottle. Okay. So I don't need to ink up this piece because it's the background layer, so it's fine. But I am going to do my white layer in Whisper. So I just have my foam dauber. And now I'm going to dab off a little bit so it's not super dark. And just go very gently around the edges. And then my Pacifica, I'm going to do my pieces of the scarf. We'll do our honey pieces, which are our hands, our little feet, and our little nose. And then for Glacier, I'm going to do the other pattern paper, which is actually a solid color for the paper pack, but it's one of those patterns. The back has some snowflakes. Alright. So I am just going to pull up the image on my computer as to what this is supposed to look like when it's done. So now I'm going to take some liquid glue. I'm actually going to take my bonding, or my broad tip glue pen, which is the Bonding Memories from Close to My Heart. Okay, so I'm going to take this one. It has never been used yet, so I'm just going to prep the tip a little bit. And it starts to turn blue. And the glue starts working towards the tip. Once your glue is coming out the tip, give it a couple more presses. And just smear your glue around. I like to put a two-way glue on any of my paper piecings and then let them dry so that way I can put my pieces on easier. So for this one, it looks like the feet are the first things that go on. So we can put those down. They're actually going to go like so. Okay. There's our little feet. Those are the first things that needed to go down on this guy. And then it looks like the body is next. Nope, I lied. Then it's the wings. So the wings go down next. The wings have a flat part and then a more rounded side. The rounded side with the rounded corner. That rounded corner goes in the top of the wing. And then the body's going to go down. Okay, and then for this guy, you can either take your Bonding Memories glue or your two-way glue pen or whatever. And then I'm just going to center this in there. And then we'll assemble the hat. Yes, yes, hat and little blob. Scarf has 3 pieces, a little beak, and hat. Okay, so the hat, it looks like it goes, this is the, no, this one is the brim of the hat, and then we've got these 3 pieces that make up the hat. So maybe I'll grab smaller glue pen. This piece goes at the very top. And then I'll just put some more glue up in here. We put some glue on the back of this guy. So, then we got a little pom-pom, and our little pom-pom actually has to slide in there. I should have done our pom-pom first. So slide our little pom-pom in there. Okay, there's our pom-pom. And then we have the band for the hat. Okay. And then our little scarf is going to go on right here. And then the little beak. Two little eyes. One, two. Smaller piece goes down first. And kind of goes over to the side. And the larger piece goes on top. So it goes like that. So there's that cute little guy. So let's put him on a little action wobble. So this piece, it's got fuzz on it. This piece is going to go on the back of him. So this is going to go on the back of him. And just press it down around there. And then this piece comes off. Okay. And then he goes right in there. And then he'll do this like swivelly thing. Okay. So there's him. And now I just need something for this bottom. So I'm going to grab a piece of white daisy. So have a bright day. Okay. And I'm just going to line those up. So grab some slate ink, just so it's not too harsh. Ink up my stamp. Do a test stamp. Looks good. Okay. And then bring it down to my cardstock. And stamp. Okay, bring back my card base. And I am just going to stick this on the bottom and give it a little fishtail. So I'm going to cut it off about yay. And then just put a little slit, corner to slit, and corner to slit. And there we go. And that's our card for today. And I hope you enjoyed watching this and seeing me put this card together. If you have any questions, feel free to leave them below, and you will see finished pictures in just a few moments of anything I've added to the card. Thanks for watching. Bye!